She was Disney's shining star, the sweet angelic face that defined an era. But what if we told you that behind Hayley Mills' glowing smile was a life filled with pain, betrayal, and battles no child should face? From beloved child actress to a woman scarred by Hollywood's darkest truths, her journey is far more shocking than the fairy tale she starred in. What really happened behind the scenes of The Parent Trap? Why did she say she hated her co-star? Stay tuned, because this is the Hayley Mills story you were never supposed to know. Hayley Catherine Rose Vivian Mills was born on April 18, 1946, in London, England, to two titans of the British art scene. Her father, the legendary actor Sir John Mills, and her mother, playwright and novelist Mary Hayley Bell, were both respected and admired in creative circles. Growing up surrounded by scripts, rehearsals, and storytelling, it was almost inevitable that Hayley would follow the same path. And destiny arrived sooner than anyone expected. At the tender age of 12, Hayley was discovered by director J. Lee Thompson while attending boarding school. He cast her in the 1959 British crime drama Tiger Bay, where she acted alongside her real-life father. Her nuanced, emotionally intelligent performance won her the BAFTA Award for Most Promising Newcomer. The performance didn't just impress critics, it caught the attention of none other than Walt Disney himself. In 1960, Hayley Mills cemented her place in cinematic history when she starred in Polyiana, playing the optimistic orphan who brought hope to a cynical town. Her radiant performance earned her the first ever Academy Juvenile Award, making her one of the youngest Oscar winners in history. Almost overnight, she became a household name. The role of Pollyanna, cheerful and kind, seemed to reflect Hayley's real-life persona. But the public image was just the surface. Following Pollyanna, Hayley became the reigning star of Disney's live-action films in the early 60s. She captured hearts once again in The Parent Trap, 1961, portraying identical twins Susan and Sharon using groundbreaking split-screen techniques. She made it look effortless, creating two different characters with completely different personalities. More hits followed: In Search of the Castaways, 1962, Summer Magic, 1963, The Moonspinners, 1964, and That Darn Cat, 1965. She was Disney's crown jewel, an international sensation still in her teens, but not everything sparkled behind the camera. For Hayley Mills, the set of The Parent Trap became one of the most emotionally painful experiences of her young life. Her co-star, Brian Keith, beloved by audiences for his fatherly warmth, turned out to be someone she couldn't stand. In fact, she later said she truly hated him more than anyone. The animosity began early and ran deep. Keith saw Hayley as Disney's pampered golden child. He mocked her British accent, belittled her during table reads, and made cruel jokes in front of the crew. He called her the Golden Goose, a jab at her favored status with Walt Disney. While the world saw a joyful father-daughter dynamic, behind the scenes, Hayley was enduring humiliation and emotional wounds that would scar her for years. One rumored incident involved Keith erupting in rage when Hayley flubbed a line. He allegedly slammed a chair to the floor and stormed off set. Though never confirmed, those who were there remember the atmosphere shifting, tense, cold, fractured. Despite the conflict, Hayley remained professional, but the experience left a mark. Years later, when asked about Keith, she would lower her voice and choose her words with icy restraint. He made it very clear I wasn't welcome. In a private letter unearthed years later, she wrote, "He was the one person in this industry I truly could not forgive. Not for what he did, but for how small he made me feel." By the mid-1960s, Hayley Mills was no longer a child, and she didn't want to be treated like one. She was ready to shed the wholesome image Disney had crafted for her and embrace complex, mature roles. In The Trouble with Angels, 1966, she played a mischievous Catholic schoolgirl. Then came Twisted Nerve, 1968, a dark psychological thriller that shocked audiences. Her role in The Family Way, 1966, marked her transition into adulthood. At just 20, she took on a daring dramatic role, and it wasn't just the performance that turned heads. During production, Haley met director Roy Bolting. He was 53, more than 30 years her senior. Their romance raised eyebrows across Britain, but neither cared. They married in 1971 and lived in two notable residences: a flat in Chelsea, one of London's trendiest districts, and an old windmill in Ibstone, Buckinghamshire, which later gained fame as a filming location for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. They had a son, Crispian Mills, who would later become the frontman of the 90s psychedelic rock band Kula Shaker, known for hits like Tatva and Hush. Through Crispian, Haley's legacy extended into a new generation of British pop culture. But her marriage to Roy Bolting couldn't withstand the weight of their differences, and they divorced in 1977. After the divorce, Haley found love again with actor Lawson. Though never married, they shared a deep companionship and had a son, Jason, in 1976. She juggled motherhood with a revitalized acting career and took on roles in theater and television. Her relationship with Lawson eventually ended as well, and he later married supermodel Twiggy. Meanwhile, Haley pressed on, rebuilding herself and redefining her career. Her work in television during the 2000s, especially in the hit British series Wild at Heart, 2007 to 2012, introduced her to a new generation of viewers. She also continued performing in London's West End, proving that she remained a passionate and talented artist. Her journey came full circle with the release of her memoir, Forever Young, in which she candidly reflected on her childhood fame, family legacy, emotional battles, and ultimate growth. In the 1990s, another chapter began when Haley met actor and writer Ferdis Bamji during a touring production of The King and I. This time, she was the older partner by 20 years. The age difference didn't matter. Their connection was built on shared values: storytelling, art, and privacy. Away from the tabloids and cameras, they forged a quiet, enduring relationship that has lasted since 1997. As of 2023, they remain together, a symbol of stability and mutual respect in a life filled with public scrutiny. Even as she aged, Haley Mills continued to inspire. In the late 2000s, she bravely battled breast cancer, a fight she won with the same grace and strength that defined her entire career. Her survival became a symbol not just of personal resilience, but of the spirit that carried her through. Decades of challenge and transformation taught the story of Haley Mills is one of contrast. She was the sweet Disney icon who endured emotional trauma. She was the adored teen who was mistreated behind the scenes. She was the rising star who fell, then rose again stronger, wiser, and determined to tell her own story. Whether it was fighting for artistic freedom, navigating difficult relationships, or healing old wounds, Haley Mills lived every stage of her life under a spotlight, yet managed to stay grounded and evolve. She wasn't just Disney's darling, she was a fighter. Through fame, heartbreak, and reinvention, Haley Mills carved out a legacy far deeper than her childhood roles. Behind the glitz was a woman of grit, grace, and courage. Her story isn't just one of stardom, it's one of survival. And her voice? It's stronger, wiser, and still shining. Thanks for Whack Thing.